My name is Brittany Selph, and this is my resurrection story. I was born, I'm an only child. I was born to my parents, Sherry and Tim Buchanan, and I grew up going to church with my grandparents, Irma Jean and Herman Forrest. As I later got older, I guess I didn't realize that how important it was and how important to them it was for me to go to church on Sundays and to be there. And then when I was in college, I kind of got out of that habit and thought it was okay not to be there. And then that's when I stopped being in church. When I was in college, I had, thought I had better things going on. During college, while I was in college, I did have a child out of wedlock, and so that was a big eye-opener. So then after I had him, I realized that I needed to bring my kids into the right track and put them on the right path. And I was in and out of church there for a while. After, Brendan, I had to finish school, I was working. But then I got married and Kinley comes along, and I realized, it's like I have my family, I need them in a church. I need to find a church that I want my kids to grow up with that support system, with, knowing God, knowing Christ, knowing the story. On Facebook one time, I was looking for that 11 o'clock service. I had been to a few churches, and you get the feel for churches, and you may not like what's there, or you're just not comfortable there. And then I needed an 11 o'clock service, and so I posted it on Facebook. Several people from the church commented, and I came on an 11 o'clock service here one Sunday, and I've never felt more comfortable in a church, more accepted, loved, and so I loved it, and I decided I needed to come back. I would say the point in my life when I realized that, God, that He was talking to me, it's definitely after I had my children. Brendan, McKinley, that they saved me. Brendan, like I said, I had him out of wedlock. I guess that was the beginning of getting my life back on track, but at the same time, I was still a single parent. God, when I had both of my children, McKinley and Brendan, like I had said earlier, when I knew that I had to get them in a church. I didn't want them doing the things that I did, when I was younger, and so I knew then, and that's when I'm pretty sure that's when God told me, He's like, get them there and find a church that you need and take it from there. Even though I grew up in a small church, honestly, I didn't know much about the Bible. There were several Bible verses that I didn't know, several stories that I didn't know. There's still today, there's several that I don't know, and I want to know more. I want them to know more. Me and my family came to church here, I want to say it was around May. It was in May of that year, and me and Brendan got baptized, I want to say that August. That was a long time coming for me. So I knew I was ready. I wanted to be baptized, but I felt like I needed to be in a church. I needed to be a part of that church family, to be baptized. And so as soon as I had found that, I was like, well, the first time that comes up, we're going to do it. And since I have been learning more about Christ, I've been praying more, and I'm learning how to pray. And I do want to say that I feel like here recently God has answered so many prayers for my family. Last year during the New Year's family prayer, me and my kids prayed with Pastor Mary, and of course she asked them and myself some of the things that what are we wanting to pray for? What are some things that we want to pray for the new year? So one of the prayers was we prayed for another child. Thankfully, that's one of the prayers that God answered. We have a new one. Miss Oakland was born on Halloween this year, and one of the other prayers that we had prayed for and asked Pastor Mary to pray with us about was we had some legal matters going on with Brendan. Brendan is not my husband's child. That was another prayer that recently has been answered. Probably about a month ago, Brendan is legally Brittany Selph, and he is legally my husband's child. So I am Brittany Selph. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me.